Okay, the purpose of this video is to help self-employed homeowners know how to structure their profit and loss when they're applying for a loss mitigation option. So if you're applying for a loan modification, short sale, deed in lieu, or repayment plan with your bank, the bank is going to ask all borrowers for verification of the income, right? They want to look to see what you're bringing in to make sure your financials qualify you for whatever you're applying for. There's a different video uploaded to kind of say what the bank is looking for when they look at your info. But this video is really just about profit and loss statements and how self-employed homeowners can kind of get them submitted so it passes through the mitigation procedure as quickly as possible. So if you're kind of a bigger business and you have an accountant who usually prepares monthly profit and loss statements, you'll want to request the most recent 90-day statement from your accountant. The bank will look at a year to date and they will look at 6 months, but it's really important that the most recent 90 days be included. They're looking to see what is the income that you're bringing in at the time you're applying. So make sure that the date range ends at the most recent period that it possibly can. Then you want to kind of review your profit and loss just to make sure everything's structured correctly. You want to make sure that if you're reporting a loss at the end of your profit and loss, but you're receiving wages, that line is highlighted. The bank is looking for what you're bringing in. So even if your business is functioning at a loss, which sometimes businesses function at a loss even when the owner of the business is bringing in money, you're trying to show them what your income that you take home every month is. And so if you have a profit and loss statement that reports a negative income at the end, you want to make sure you highlight the line that shows the wages that you're taking. Now, if you have a profit and loss statement that shows you're taking wages, you should be able to produce a W-2 form or a pay stub from your company to yourself to show that you're taking these wages. So the wage line versus the profit line is kind of something that people struggle with on a profit and loss statement. So if you are somebody who just takes draws from your company, you should not be reporting this as wages, because the moment you put that on the wages line on your profit and loss statement, the bank will want to see a pay stub. So if you're somebody who just takes draws from your profits at the end of the month, your profit and loss should read $0 from wages. And then at the bottom of your 3-month profit and loss, it will have the amount of profit that you receive. That should be a positive number if you're not receiving wages. And then the way that you translate that income onto your application is you basically divide it by however many months your profit and loss statement is to get an average monthly income. So, for example, if you're somebody who has a business with fluctuating income, meaning months you make different amounts of money, and you send them 3 months worth, and the first month you made, a bunch of money, and the second 2 months you didn't make that much money. When you go to your application to write what is your monthly income, take the average of those 3 months or the average of those 6 months and make that real clear at the bottom of your profit and loss statement. So at the bottom of this video is a description link that will take you to a template profit and loss statement. You want to make sure that whatever's showing at the bottom of your profit and loss statement divided by however many months your profit and loss statement for shows your monthly income. So if your total profit and loss for 3 months says you made $9,000 per month, you divide it by 3 and your monthly income from your business is $3,000 a month. That will help account for discrepancies between months of income. If you're somebody who does not use an accountant and you cannot just ask someone to provide you your profit and loss statement, you're going to want to create your own profit and loss statement. Like I said in the description box at the bottom of this video, there is a link to a template profit and loss statement. It's straightforward. You write your business name, you write the period of time, and again, a minimum of the most recent 3 months, and then you fill in your income and you fill in your expenses. The most important thing here to understand is if you're doing your own is it needs to be signed and dated at the bottom. And then you need to be able to have something backing the income that you're showing. Business bank statements can be submitted along with them, deposit slips, something to show that the income that you're reporting on your profit and loss is actually reflected. And like I said, with the other profit and loss statements, one of the ways to get your income to look a little bit more accurately is to make sure you're reporting an amount of time that accurately reflects what you're bringing in. So one more time, if you're a seasonal employee, or if your business has seasons where you make a ton of money and you kind of rely on that ton of money in your other seasons, then you should be reporting a greater than a 3-month period of time. So if you're applying for a loan modification in the winter, and let's say you have like a landscaping business that makes the bulk of the money in the summer, for example, you would want to make sure that you're sending in more than those recent 3 months, because what you'll be doing is you'll be showing the bank, this is my monthly income. If you only send September, October, November, and that's not when you make the most of your income, the bank's going to think you make less money than you make. So think about, how is your money in your business coming in? If it fluctuates, make sure that you extend the term of your profit and loss out, covering several months, so that they can see an average. And then when it comes to the time for you to fill in your monthly income on your application, make sure you report the average. So last time, I'll just repeat this. If you're a seasonal business, make sure you take as big of a chunk of time as you need to get a good monthly average, especially if you're applying to retain your home. You want to show the bank you do have money coming in. Even if it doesn't come in the recent 3 months, extend that out to get a good monthly average going. That's profit and loss statements for employed businesses. There is another time when you should use a profit and loss statement, and that is if you are receiving income that's not under a structured business that you own, and it's not W-2 income. And we see this popping up a lot recently with the increase in online businesses. So Etsy, Facebook Marketplace, DoorDash drivers, Uber drivers, those are great sources of income, and that money is coming into you, and that often can raise the household income. So if you're receiving any of those types of money, the bank will view you as a self-employed person, and you will want to send in a profit and loss statement to tell the bank what you're earning. Use the template in the description box underneath this video to provide this income. Under business name, you obviously don't have a business name if you're somebody who's doing DoorDash, but you just write what you're doing. So you'll say your name and say DoorDash, and I always like to tell the bank what that is. You can't really rely on the underwriters to know what DoorDash is, so I always write DoorDash, whatever, grocery delivery service, or Uber driving, or something like that. So write that on the business name line, and then just like you would if you were a true self-employed business, report your most recent 3 months, or report the most recent amount of time that gives you a good monthly income. Now, if you're somebody who's doing DoorDash or Uber, a lot of times you're paid via direct deposit from that company's merchant processor directly into your bank account. So the way that you know what to write on your profit and loss statement is you pull your most recent bank accounts that correspond with the months that you're reporting on your profit and loss statement. So you'd go in there, you'd pull your 3 months bank statements, and you'd start highlighting the deposits that come from whatever you're reporting. So if you do DoorDash and you have 12 deposits in 1 month, you highlight them. Then you add up those amounts of deposits, and that becomes your gross income that you've received that you then put on your profit and loss statement. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure you tell the bank where those monies are coming from. So a lot of times, especially if you're driving for Uber, it doesn't say the deposit on the bank statement comes from Uber. It has a weird abbreviation or a name for their merchant processor. So you'll want to attach a letter of explanation to tell the bank, this is my business, right? I'm an Uber driver. This is my profit and loss showing all my deposits for the last 3 months. And then you include a letter of explanation that says the deposits on my bank statement from my Uber driving are labeled, and then you take whatever it says on your bank statement and you retype that. Basically what you're doing is you're trying to connect everything you're bringing in so that it makes it really easy for the bank to know where your income is coming from. On your profit and loss statement that you're making, if you have one of these Facebook Marketplace or Etsy or Uber driving businesses, you should have an expense line with a few amount of expenses, right? I believe if you're driving Uber, you pay for gas. I believe if you are making crafts on Etsy or doing something on Facebook Marketplace, you might have some expenses going out for materials. So you do want to make it look like a genuine profit and loss statement where you report your sales or your deposits, and then you have a few expenses going out. And then at the bottom of the template, make sure you sign and date. Good luck with your profit and loss statements. You always want to make sure 100% that when you get to that bottom line of your profit and loss statement where it says, profit, that you divide that profit by 3 and use that average to report your monthly income so that the bank has an accurate picture of the money that you're bringing in.